What's happening, burgeoning trumpet masters? Bobby Spellman here. And as you may be aware, a solid embouchure is the foundation of good trumpet technique. Now that said, you might find that even though you're able to properly center the mouthpiece on your face, and you feel as though you're getting enough of your lips in the inside rim of the mouthpiece, you're still not making the progress you think you should be in endurance and range. In that case, it is possible that you are inadvertently sabotaging your embouchure every time you put the mouthpiece on your face. So today I wanted to take a little time to talk about one way that you might be sabotaging your embouchure and how to fix it on this very specific episode of Trumpet with Bob. All right, today's episode is going to be a little bit of an extension of my episode entitled How to Get the Most Out of Your Trumpet Embouchure, which you can find right here. But in case you don't want to watch that video right now, I'm going to give a quick overview of what we talked about in that video. And it goes like this. Everybody's face is different, everybody's dental structure is different, and for that reason, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to embouchure. Some great trumpet players will play a little bit off to one side or the other. Great trumpet players will play a little bit more on their top lip or a little bit more on their bottom lips. There's no exact right answer, but the rule of thumb is that you want to basically center the mouthpiece on your lips as much as possible, and for the benefit of this whole video and this concept, most importantly, you want to make sure that the inside rim is making its way around the vermilion of your lips. So as you set up your embouchure to play the trumpet, you want to make sure that the inside rim of the mouthpiece goes around this pink fleshy part called the vermilion of your lips. I will show you with this embouchure demonstrator here. So if everything goes according to plan, the inside rim will fall on the outside of the vermilion of your lips. Now, the reason for this is that you need your orbicularis oris muscles in here to control what is going on in the vibrating part of your lips. You want to make sure that you have control of that fleshy vibrating part of your lips so that you can control the instrument in whatever various kinds of perhaps adverse trumpet conditions you might find yourself in. Now, one trend that I've been noticing is, despite the fact that some of my students or people that I've observed will set up their embouchure correctly to begin, they may sabotage themselves by over-adjusting their lips as they set the mouthpiece to their lips. Now, this is something that I've been noticing recently, so I wanted to make a video on it because I think this might be helpful for some people. So it goes like this, is you might be setting up your embouchure, and in order to try to get a good sound or to adjust in such a way that it's comfortable for you, you may end up doing something like this. Before you play. Let me do that one more time. I'll do it a little bit more subtly here. Now, there's nothing wrong with adjusting a little bit as the mouthpiece reaches your lips. However, what you might find is that if you're adjusting too much, you may be doing everything right and it may look right while you're playing, but you may be inadvertently tucking your lips up around the rim of the mouthpiece such that you're really just squashing the fleshy vermilion of your lips into your teeth with the inside rim of the mouthpiece without getting enough of this orbicularis oris muscle into that inside rim. If you don't have any of the orbicularis oris muscle in there controlling what's going on in your aperture area, then you may find that you lose control or that your endurance is not what you want it to be or that you're not making any progress on range, things of that nature. Okay, so one way to test this is to get a mirror and to watch yourself put the mouthpiece on your face and make sure that you're not over-adjusting such that you are taking the orbicularis oris part out of the mouthpiece and just leaving the fleshy vermilion of your lips to fend for themselves. Another thing you can do is, if you've been playing for quite some time, it's different for everybody, and you shouldn't use too much pressure while playing, but if you've been playing for a little while, take the trumpet off your face and check to make sure that the ring that's left from the mouthpiece, any mild indentation that you might have, is making its way around the vermilion of your lips. Now, if it is not, and you feel like you're playing too much on the fleshy vermilion, in that case, one way that I like to remedy this situation is to put my mouth in the position as though I am going to play, Then place the mouthpiece on my lips and ensure that I'm not moving more than I have to before I start to play a note. That will look like this. Now, if you're used to adjusting a lot, that is going to be uncomfortable at first. And once again, there's nothing wrong with adjusting a little bit to make sure your aperture is doing what you need it to do and that your lips are in the right place. But if you're over adjusting, this could mean that even though it looks like you're doing everything right on the outside, you may not be getting enough meat into the mouthpiece to be able to ensure that you can play for long periods of time or reach the notes that you're trying to reach, or that you're even making progress while practicing those elements of trumpet technique. So, the best way to practice getting better at this is to, once again, set up your lips like you're going to play, set up your embouchure, put the mouthpiece on your face, and then practice long tones, just holding the note that comes out. Could be a low C, could be a G, could be a middle C. Likely you're going to want to stick around a middle G or a low C like you would find in my long tones episodes. But at first, it may be a little bit uncomfortable to adjust to this. You may feel as though you're not allowing your lips to do what they want to do. But with some time and some practice in this stage of practicing, just putting the mouthpiece on your face and practicing blowing air through your lips so that your lips start to vibrate without doing any unnecessary adjustment, over time, practicing that will result in you being able to place the mouthpiece on your face and with minimal adjustment, play the notes that you need to. All right, so there's a quick tip for you, just something to think about. Once again, it's not necessary to be right in the center of your lips. Depending on what your dental structure is like, what your face is shaped like, you may be off to one side or the other a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit. But at the end of the day, a good rule of thumb is just to make sure that you have enough meat inside the inside rim of the mouthpiece. And if you feel like you're over adjusting as you form your embouchure and put the mouthpiece on your face, you may not be making the progress that you should be in endurance and range and other things like that. So that's something to consider and something to try out so that you can avoid those kinds of problems. If you feel like your embouchure is really off the rails, it would be wise to talk about this with a private trumpet instructor. An embouchure shift or a big dramatic embouchure change can be really tedious and uncomfortable and disruptive. And if you don't have to do it, there may be ways of focusing your embouchure like we talked about today that save you from having to do any dramatic stuff. But if you do have to make an embouchure shift, this is a situation where it would be very useful to talk to a private teacher about it because it can be a somewhat difficult process if you don't do it right. But if you do it right, it can be smooth sailing. It can be a very easy and non-disruptive process to just focus your embouchure and adjust it in one way or the other just to make sure that you're getting the most out of your embouchure and that you can play as efficiently as possible. All right, gang, if you like that video, give us a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos on trumpet and jazz and music theory and things of the like. If you are looking for private lessons in trumpet or various other musical instruments, you can find us on our website at www.ridgewoodschoolofmusic.com or send us an email at ridgewoodschoolofmusic@gmail.com and we'll set you up with a great teacher for what you're looking for. All right, gang, have a wonderful time practicing and focusing your embouchures and working out that range and endurance on the trumpet, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya. Trumpet with Bob.